My name is Thor, and I'm the god of thunder. Actually, that's a lie. My name's Steve May, and I'm an illustrator. And I've just been working on a brand new book called Two Terrible Vikings by Francesca Simon. Now, Two Terrible Vikings are about brother and sister Hack and Whack, who are the worst Vikings in the village. And being the worst Vikings in the village, they're bound to have the worst pet. And their pet is called Bitey Bitey, and he is a baby wolf. Now, in the next clip, I'm going to show you how to draw Bitey Bitey, and I promise you won't get bitten. So, today I'm going to show you how to draw Bitey Bitey, who is the little wolf cub, who is Hack and Whack's pet, who is usually up to some sort of mischief. So I always start with the eyes, and then I'm going to put in the eyebrows. Now, he usually looks like he's been up to mischief, so I don't know what mischief he's been. He might have been chasing chickens, or chickens might have been chasing him, you never know. So now what I do afterwards is I add, he's got these big furry ears like this, so I add the big furry ears, and then my pen packs up. No, that doesn't always happen. So we'll just add these ears, and then we add, he's got this pointy snout like this. So this, and then he's usually got a big grin on him. So I'm going to draw this big grin like this, and a face like this, open mouth, and obviously, as you might have guessed, with a name like Bitey Bitey, he's got quite a layer of teeth here. So I'm going to draw the teeth in here. And these are probably used for chewing all sorts of things. And draw his tongue, big lolloping tongue there. And the inside of his mouth. I'm sure there's been all sorts of things inside this mouth, all sorts of things you wouldn't want to know about, I'm sure. I think he's quite partial to a fish head or two as well in the book, certainly. So there's probably some of those in there, some of those chewing some Viking furniture, little bits of longship in there, all sorts of things like that. So we've got here big grin. This is when my pen decides to pack up, just as I'm drawing this. So we just add, and I'm going to add a few little flecks of fur on his snout there. We can go back and do that later. And then we get to the fun part, because I get to draw the fur on his body. Now, I am not an expert in Viking mythology, but by Thor, I would reckon it was quite difficult to get hold of a wolf brush in those days. So I'm imagining Bitey usually has to look like he probably has never seen a brush in his life. So he's this big, we've got this big lot of scruffy fur on him. I hate to say it, Bitey, but I'd imagine it smells pretty awful as well, because I'd imagine if you try bathing a wolf, there's probably easier things to do, let's say. So I'm just going to draw the big tail in here. He's got a big bushy tail here. Draw that in there, and then we'll add a bit more fur while my pen decides to sort of play up a little bit. I don't always use this sort of pen, but I thought this would be less messy than using a dip pen. But actually, Bitey's quite a messy character anyway, so that probably suits it. So this bit is great. I mean, this is one of the best things about being an illustrator, is just scribbling. Whatever anybody tells you, a bit of scribble is great fun. And like I said, my guess is that in Viking times, there was probably too much pillaging and things like that to do to actually worry about bathing your baby wolf. So, as I said, I think sort of you know, Bitey is quite a scruffy little character. So I'm going to draw the legs in. So he's running. He's probably, I hate to cast aspersions on you, Bitey, but he's probably running away from some mischief. Or perhaps somebody decided to offer him a bath. He's as fond of baths as Dirty Elf, who was another character in a book who I really should show you how to draw as well. I'll do that another time. So I'm going to draw the back leg in here. So while he's running. So as I said, he's probably, my guess is this, he's running away because he's done something. He's done something he shouldn't. My guess. And with owners like Hack and Whack, the Two Terrible Vikings, it's probably bound to have been up to no good. So I'll do this. He's probably been chasing Viking cats. Vikings were very fond of cats as well, apparently, as well as wolves. I don't think Bitey would have any truck with that. So there we go. He's running, and I'm gonna just run through the snowy ground. So I'm gonna add a little bit of snow here and things, and just a little bit of shading around his eyes, just to make him look a bit more naughty. And a bit more of this. You see, this bit's the fun bit. I mean, just all sorts of things, because he's a very scruffy wolf. I actually modelled him partly on my sister's dog, Yogi, who is a very scruffy dog. So some little ear tufts there. And a little bit of, because it's obviously cold, isn't it? So he's going to be breathing out a bit of cold air there as he's panting. And then I'm going to just draw a little shadow under him, just so you can see where he's running on. So we've got some ground here. Little bit of ground, just scribble that in there. So I'm assuming that he's running through the snow here. Snow, sort of snowy background, bits of snow. And then we put the pen down here, and usually just for a finishing touch, I'm going to use a little bit of water on him. And because this pen, the ink dissolves in water, you can use this and just make a little bit of, this gives him a little bit of colour. And again, with this, you can have a bit of fun. Now, if you were doing this in pencil, you could use some paint or some ink on top of this and do the same thing. Maybe use a sort of grey colour for a wolf, a grey wolf colour. So just add a little bit of mess here. I'm going to just try and add a little bit of red. This might go slightly wrong because the ink dissolves as well. I'm just going to colour that in, so we've got a little bit of that. A little bit of that there, so we just get a little bit of colour. Let's get some yellow eyes. A bit of yellow there, some yellow eyes. Let's just add a little bit in there. so this ink runs a little bit if I put colour on it, so I shouldn't really do this. This is a slightly silly thing to do, but I'm quite a silly illustrator. So, there we go. And now, yeah, just a little bit up here, so we just get some more. And again, so this bit can be, you can have a little bit of fun with this. Just play with that. And again, a little bit more stain there in the snow. And then we have, this is the very aptly named Bitey Bitey.